Montana. I'm Heather Rose with the Montana Community Foundation, and I am at the beautiful Zoo Montana in the Sensory Garden today. And joining me is Kendra with an organization I have yet to hear about, but man, it sounds fantastic. Cutting Fences Foundation.
Yeah, well, thank you for that, for starters. So my foundation is really devoted to strengthening physical and mental wellness within the agricultural and veteran populations. And I do this in many different ways, but some of the ways that I do this is through a podcast, sharing some of the individual stories, free to the client occupational therapy services. I'm an occupational therapist. And then a quality of life fund and several different advocacy campaigns.
That's amazing. So there's a lot of avenues, you know, like you mentioned your podcast, but then if somebody needs adaptive equipment, tell me more about the fund. Like, what does that look like for an individual?
Yeah, so this is a really big piece of the puzzle because some of the adaptive equipment these individuals need to stay in the farming and ranching world is very expensive. So I've created this fund that helps to relieve some of that financial burden for these individuals so that they can get what they need to do what they love.
It truly is quality of life. As we know, I mean, a lot of farm and ranchers, that's all they've done and their families for generations. So that's a wonderful resource for them.
Thank you.
And then the podcast, where would they find that?
Yeah, so it's called Cutting Fences Podcast and it's on Spotify, but you can also find it on my website, cuttingfencesfoundation.net. And then I do a lot of my episodes through Facebook and Instagram as well.
That's fantastic. So you can listen from home, you can listen from the combine,
Yeah.
You can really listen, you know, wherever you are.
Yeah, and that was kind of my hope behind the podcast is that they could listen to it while out in the field. So.
Oh, this is just wonderful for Montana farm and ranch families. And that is Hello Montana.